When he saw them coming, the poor little sparrow was very happy indeed. He and his wife and children all came and bowed their heads down to the ground to show their respect. Then the sparrow rose and led the old man and the old woman into the house, while his wife and children hastened to bring them boiled rice, fish, and cress. After they had feasted, the sparrow wished to please them still more, so he danced for them what is called the sparrow dance. When the sun began to sink, the old man and woman started home. The sparrow brought out 2 baskets. "I would like to give you one of these," he said. "Which will you take?" One basket was large and looked very full, while the other seemed very small and light. The old people thought they would not take the large basket, for that might have all the sparrow's treasure in it. So they said, "The way is long, so please let us take the smaller one." They took it and walked home over the mountain and across the bridge, happy and contented. When they reached their own home, they decided to open the basket and see what the sparrow had given them. Within the basket they found many rolls of silk and piles of gold, enough to make them rich, so they were more grateful than ever to the sparrow. The cross old woman who had cut the sparrow's tongue was peering through the screen when they opened their basket. She saw the rolls of silk and piles of gold and planned how she might get some for herself. The next morning she went to the kind woman and said, "I am so sorry that I cut the tongue of your sparrow. Please tell me the way to his home, so I may go to him and tell him I am sorry." The kind woman told her the way, and she set out. She went across the bridge, over the mountain, and through the woods. At last she came to the home of the little sparrow. He was not so glad to see this old woman, yet he was very kind to her and did everything to make her feel welcome. They made a feast for her, and when she started home, the sparrow brought out 2 baskets as before. Of course, the woman chose the large basket, for she thought that would have even more wealth than the other one. It was very heavy and caught on the trees as she was going through the wood. She could hardly pull it up the mountain with her, and she was all out of breath when she reached the top. She did not get to the bridge until it was dark. Then she was so afraid of dropping the basket into the river that she scarcely dared to step. When at last she reached home, she was tired out, but she pulled the screens close shut so that no one could look in and open her treasure. Treasure indeed! A whole swarm of horrible creatures burst from the basket the moment she opened it. They stung her and bit her. They pushed her and pulled her and scratched her. At last she crawled to the edge of the room and slid aside the screen to get away from the pests. The moment the door was opened, they swooped down upon her, picked her up, and flew away with her. Since then, nothing has been heard of the old woman.